You just thought that there was a vagina shot in Pulp Fiction?
I did.
No, she ODs.
Okay.
And then there's a gay rape scene.
Oh shit.
That's Pulp Fiction for you.
So which one did you jerk off to?
Which one?
I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Hey, I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat.
Welcome to Unloading Meat, the only show that interviews the true, authentic people around the Tulsa area. You know, not the people then fucking Tulsa King that just... I guess everybody that watches Tulsa King just assumes that there's just random white horses that are just running through Tulsa.
Horse.
Yeah, I don't interview those fuckers, okay? At least they got the dispensaries right. They got the dispensaries pretty locked on. Did you watch Tulsa King?
I haven't yet.
Okay. Be prepared for a 70-year-old dude that still thinks he can fuck.
Okay.
On that note, please welcome my next guest. I'm so intrigued to talk to this guy more on our special Valentine's Day episode. Give it up for the one, the only, Scotty Lee. What's up, Scotty?
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for bringing these amazing glasses.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man, I'm seeing... I guess I'm even more queer. Am I over the bi spectrum now?
I don't know. There's two colors, so I think it's still bi.
Oh, okay. We'll bring it back for Pride Month.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can just delay the episode until then. Fuck Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Whatever you're feeling, man.
So off camera, you were telling me you go by Scotty Lee. Could you tell me why?
Yeah. So Lee is actually my middle name, you know, and I actually made a joke to Kyle the other day because he had it written down with my last name, but he was trying to make a joke of his own as my last name's Woodard, but everyone calls me Woodward. I've dealt with that my whole life. And so he was going to announce me as that as a joke. And I was like, man, please use Scotty Lee. You know, I was like, I'm trying to make it stick, but none of y'all fucking want it to. And so he was like, yeah, he was like, I'm with it. I'll do it. And, but anyway, so the way I look at it is right before I started doing stand-up, I've had a buddy that I've been talking to about doing it for years. You know, I mean, we've talked about doing stand-up for well over a decade together, and he still hasn't tried it. But like literally like 3 days before my first open mic, he was like, do you have a stage name? It's like, I don't. I was like, I never thought about that. And so literally like the day of, it came to me, you know, what happens when you're acting up? You know, you're referred to by the middle name always gets brought up. You know, and like I feel like that's what I'm trying to do on stage. I'm up there acting up, you know, so I am Scotty Lee. Yeah,
I like it. I mean, it's a nice professional name. It's a good name. It has a good ring to it. It'll look good on flyers. I mean, you've really done a lot to... There's a lot behind a name. Yep. And I also didn't want to go by Ralphie Allen. Right. Because there's already been a Ralphie May, and I'm a fat guy. May, I don't want to try to like say I'm copying Ralphie May or anything like that. Right, I was trying to make my own original thing. Yeah. And I didn't want to go by Jared Allen because there's a football player named Jared Allen, and apparently there's already an actor named Jared Allen. Okay. Because I even go so far as to go like through like, you know, like the Film Actors Guild.
Wow. Good going, fag.
Stuff like that, the Screen Actors Guild. Mm-hmm. And you can't have the same name registered as another actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to future-proof myself, and I was like, Jared Ralphie Allen, nobody has that. That's kind of a catchy 3-name thing.
Yep.
And it just stuck.
Yep. And I like the JRA.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Yeah. I kind of leaned into that, and then everybody was like, it's like JRE, and I'm like, yeah, but mine's my whole name, not just experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, hashtag JRA
rolls well.
It does, doesn't it?
You know? Yeah, it does, really.
Well, my original name was supposed to be Jeremy, and my parents told me that, and then like, as my sisters were coming home from school, there was like a oil rig worker or something like that his name was Jeremy, and they were like, hey, it's Jeremy. It's Jeremy. And they were like, yeah, we're not having that.
Yeah.
So they were like, apparently there was some like, you know, like Lonesome Dove and like, you know, like those old Western shows like what was the one with Michael Land and all that stuff? Like the Big Valley or something like that. There's one called the Big Valley.
Okay.
And I guess there was some lawyer on there named Jared, and they were like, he seems smart. We're going to name him after that guy. And I'm like, thanks. I'm a random Western lawyer on a fucking show nobody's heard of. Now I smoke pot and tell jokes.
Jared was a popular name.
Yeah.
In our generation. So maybe
I had
a lot of people
4.
got it from there. Yeah.
I had 4 in my high school.
Really?
Yeah. I even had another one. His name was Jared Allen. Mm-hmm. I'm born July 20th. He was born July 22nd.
Oh, wow.
And we were in the same grade, everything. And I'm like, did we get like switched at birth or something like that? Like, did they just cross it in the hospital? And I was like, damn.
Did y'all look like it at all?
Nah.
No. That happened to my oldest son, and I don't remember what year it was. It was pretty early into his school career, and the teacher decided that the new kid that had the same name as him was going to get to keep his name, and they were going to call my son AJ, which has nothing to fucking do with his name. I don't know why, but then he kind of embraced it, and then he went to a new high school, and he started calling himself that, and now there's people who know him only as that, so it's weird.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're AJ's dad, and I'm like, who?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I have 2 kids, and neither one of them's AJ. You know?
My parents do the same thing because they're like, you're Ralphie's dad. I'm like, who? I'm like, yeah, same thing.
I love your figures, though.
Thanks, man.
I noticed I hadn't seen the turtles.
Yeah, all the way up. They're up top.
Yep.
Up top.
I love the turtles.
Yeah, like those are my only one. I have one. So like, have you read do you read comics?
I have not read one comic.
Okay, there's a thing. I don't know if you've heard the story. It's called The Last Ronin.
I've seen it. Yep.
This is that figure. It's the last
okay.
turtle.
Nice.
And if you notice, he has all the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think that turtle is? Who do you think is the last turtle that survives?
I'm gonna say Rav.
Everybody thinks that's Raph.
Yeah.
It's Michelangelo.
Oh wow.
The baby
Mikey,
turtle.
Okay.
He's the one that last. And this comic is basically kind of like The Dark Knight Rises. It's like basically it's Kevin Eastman and Michael Laird, the guys that created the Turtles.
Yeah.
They came back and they wrote the ending.
Okay.
And it's set in this like apocalyptic
awesome.
future, like 20 years in the future.
Right.
And he's the surviving turtle. And what they say is basically throughout the years, his mutation got more and more advanced and he got bigger and bigger. So basically he's like the size of the Hulk now.
Okay.
And it shows through backstory, like flashbacks, how each of the other turtles got their end and how they were betrayed. Like even Splinter gets killed and stuff like that.
Man.
And it's like him in the future trying to take down the last Shredder.
Okay.
And it's a fucking fascinating story. It's really cool, and they're getting ready to make it into a video game.
Yeah.
Which is going to be you controlling the last Ronin and going through that. I'm like, that's going to be a dope story. I want them to make that a movie because it's when you read it, the way that they wrote it and everything, it's gritty. It kind of almost is written from a point of view of like, we're writing this for the people that really just know the Turtles from like those old 90s movies, like 1 and 2, and like the gritty New York stuff.
Yeah, that's what I know.
And they're like, okay, well, let's say we just kind of spiritually homage to this is the ending of that kind of story.
Okay.
So you don't have to know all the backstory. You don't have to know all the characters.
Right.
You just need to know like April, Casey Jones,
Right. The mains.
and the mains.
Yeah.
And it's like a really cool, definitive, awesome ending to their story.
Nice.
And
I need to look into it.
it's cool. Like what I recommend is you can go on YouTube,
Uh-huh.
and there's things called like comic historians or comic explained,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically just take popular novels and they narrate them, and they basically make them into like visual novels. You can just watch them in like a 10-minute video,
Okay.
and you can just get the whole story of the movie in like a 10-minute
Right.
little clip, and it's very detailed. They show you each page, and they're narrating them to you like through the action,
Nice.
and it's just a way to watch comics instead of like actually buying each issue and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I highly recommend those. There's kind of cool ways to get into comics.
I will look into that.
Yeah, that's a really good story. Like that's one story that got me back into reading comics
Yeah.
because it was that good.
I've actually recently told I've kind of had an epiphany. Like I don't know if you've noticed, I do wear a lot of turtle stuff.
Yeah.
And like I've been a fan my whole life. It's something I grew up with. The area we came from. I was born in '86.
Yeah.
But I never read the comics, and there's a lot of things I don't know about it.
Yeah.
And my older son, he's more into them than I am. It's something that I relate with them to.
Yeah.
But for me personally, like I told my wife that I almost felt like a fraud because I wasn't the comic book person. I didn't know a lot of the backstory and stuff.
Yeah.
But I am a huge fan. But for me, it takes me back. So I lost my dad at a young age, at 5, and the Turtles take me to a time when things were normal.
Yeah.
And that's why I hold on to them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I don't know. I just recently had that epiphany. I was like, holy shit. That's why these mean so much to me.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I don't know everything about them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I mean, I don't read every issue. I fell out of comics when I was like teenager or like early, late teens. I stopped reading them full time. But like, I knew the characters and like, I would Wikipedia. I know the stories and stuff like that. And I was more like a mainstream fan. I just got a casual fan than I was
Right.
like hardcore buying every issue. But like, I have my favorite characters. I have Deadpool tattooed on my arm. I have Nightcrawler tattooed on my arm. Doesn't mean I know every single thing about every issue of them, but I can still say I'm a fan. Like I don't diminish a fan's fandom.
Yeah.
Just because they haven't read every fucking issue about them.
Right.
Like, if you like the turtles, you like the fucking turtles.
Right.
I like turtles. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
you're that kid. Fuck anybody that says otherwise, man.
I agree. You know, but I feel like, I don't know, there's certain people in every community of everything that are, like we were kind of talking about earlier, almost gatekeepers.
Yep.
For lack of a better term. And, you know, it's like that in everything.
It's like, because in a way I understand partially some of that because like they're protective of something that they love.
Right. Yeah.
They don't want it to be tarnished or ruined.
I could see that.
But at the same time, it's only going to survive and thrive if it keeps getting new blood put into it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's kind of the balance you have to strike with anything in life. And yeah. I mean, yeah, we were talking about like, you know, cliques and Tulsa comedy and stuff like that and stuff like that. It just, there's just gatekeeping some places, and we just gotta kind of just ride the wave and just stay in your own lanes. What I try to do.
Yep.
Just do the work
agree.
and just be funny.
I'm very fortunate that I feel like I found my little clique pretty early.
Yeah.
You know, the Sesh was where I got my
Dude, let's
start
talk
at.
about that. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to talk to you about that, like because the Sesh Lounge was a scene that I hate that it's gone now.
Me too, man. I miss it so bad.
But it developed so much of a culture of just like, out of all the open mics in Tulsa, it was one that you could just kind of just be free.
Exactly.
And there was no stereotypes there. There was no politics. There was nothing there. You could just be free because honestly, everybody was high as fuck.
Yep.
And it also gave me this perspective. I don't know if you had this perspective, but like I could do the same jokes at Cellar.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yep.
But I'd have to adjust them for Thursday because I knew everybody was going to be high and the reaction time's going to be different.
Yeah.
So you can't do the same style. You can't do the same thing exactly.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to slow the fuck down.
You do have to slow down there.
That taught me a lot because that was like kind of like how I tell people like when I was doing the difference between bars or doing a show like Go Theater or something like that.
Right.
Different vibes.
It is totally everywhere.
There's people that got pissed like they're doing a vibe. Like they're at a bar and they're not paying attention to me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're getting drunk.
Right. They didn't come here for this.
Yeah.
We just happen to be here the same time as them.
Yeah. So go in there knowing that and then try to adjust your set to it. Like use it as an opportunity to change.
Right.
Do something different. Do some crowd work.
Yep.
Get them into it.
Yep.
Don't be an asshole.
When I first started doing it, you know, I had a lot of people like kind of poking fun and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, you're going to a what they called it a 420 club. You know, you're going to a 420 club. Of course, you can make people laugh.
Yeah.
Anyone can be funny to a bunch of stoners. And it's like, fuck no.
Yeah.
You have that completely backwards.
Yes.
You know, talk to a room of drunks and you get them riled up and you're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
A room of stoners and then you can lose them real quick.
Try to keep their attention.
Yeah.
Trying to keep their attention.
For real.
Dude, like, and I'm not harping on him. He's one of my dearest friends, Trash.
Mm-hmm.
Trash
I
being
love
with all of his
Shout out
gimmick
Trash.
and his puppets and his loud presentation and stuff
Yep.
really thrived in that scene because of like keeping people's attention.
Did.
Here's a flashy object going nonstop. You're like, whoa, that's
Right.
Trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's memorable and that kind of stuff. He stood
Yeah.
out. And I'm really excited to see his crowd control show to see what he does
Me
there.
too. I'm stoked for that.
I love Trash. Trash is trying to really do this like Andy Kaufman kind of like alternative comedy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the typical 5-minute, 10-minute stand-up routine.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be hard to do on certain venues. So I'm kind of excited to see what he does with crowd control and see if maybe that's the place where he thrives with his old concept.
Right.
Because
I'm very excited for that too.
me too, man. Shout out to Trash. He's awesome, man.
He is.
Love you, buddy.
I have him on my show. I'm doing a show when this airs. It will have been a few, last Saturday, but I'm doing a show February 10th, and
Nice.
I'm bringing comedy to Muskogee, and we're doing a place that's kind of, I guess it'll kind of have a sesh vibe. It's a little speakeasy in the back of a dispensary.
Nice.
Like you literally enter this room through an old timey Coke machine.
Oh, nice. I like
It's
that
fucking
vibe.
Sick, yeah. And so Trash, he's one of the people that I'm taking with me, and I'm gonna throw him right in the middle because
Nice.
I think it'll, people. It's a stoner show.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 420 friendly, BYOB.
Yeah.
And so I think that'll
Bring
bring
your own
people
bud.
back into it. Because we have a few people opening before him. Preston Sly's one of them.
Nice.
And then I think Trash, like people are gonna kind of be stoned after the first few,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this guy? This is different."
Yeah.
And then wrap it up with closers,
That sounds
Should
like
be
a
a
good
good
vibe.
time.
Good vibe. You said it's February 10th?
Yep.
Yeah. And it'll be out before this, but yeah.
Yep. I'm
It-
so excited for that.
How far away is Muskogee, man? Like how long was your drive here?
From here was almost 2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah.
Well, appreciate the trip, man.
Yeah, no problem. I drive a lot for work, so I like driving.
Well, you guys also you brought some bud too. That was some fucking killer.
Yeah, my wife actually grew that.
Nice.
Thank you. She's a hell of a grower. That is her passion. It's not Unfortunately, it's not what she gets to do for a living, but you know, she loves it as like I do comedy.
Well, I'll just say your wife makes some killer bud. That was like phenomenal.
Thank you. I will pass it on to her.
Yeah, the glasses are really now a necessity. Like, you can't tell how much we're fucking baked.
Yeah, I'm so fucking stoned.
Baked.
We should have done that afterwards.
Yeah.
Hello, motherfucker.
Oh, we're that high.
Yep.
But no, man, welcome to the show. I'm glad that you came all the way from Muskogee. I love the Sesh crowd because like season 3, you're gonna be excited to see it has a lot of people from the Sesh group.
That's awesome. That's my crew.
That's also the place where like I not only like try to scout talent for my own shows, but also for the podcast. Is like I just wanted to see people that are in the scene doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
And Sesh was a place where I could see certain people week to week doing not necessarily the same stuff, but I could see the improvements they were doing, the stuff that they're bringing back, and I could see the new stuff they're bringing back.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, I'm not harping on anybody's style. There's some people that do the same 5 minutes over and over again. And there's a place for that. If they have a show coming up, they need to fucking use that gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's open mic's a gym. That's all it is you need to work that shit in.
Exactly.
So if they have a show coming up, by all rights, do your fucking classic tight 5, make it tight, make sure it's good.
Right.
But I also appreciate people bringing new shit or working on shit, and you could tell the iterations.
Right.
And we saw a lot of that with Sesh.
We did. We really did.
Because honestly, weed brings that out.
Yep.
Maybe that? Fuck, no, that's stupid too. Damn it. It's almost dawn, and I can't think of one solid idea to announce my new roast battle tournament. If only there was a random weather event in Oklahoma that would let me use it in my advertising, ironically. Hey guys, Jared Ralphie Allen here. And if you want to beat this cold, come join me and 10 other comics. February 16th, Unloading Meat presents Roast Battle, live at the Go Theater, 8 o'clock, 10 comics, 1 champion, $200 cash for the winner. Holy fuck, it's cold.
Have you seen the new Willy Wonka?
I haven't.
The newest? I haven't either.
I'm Isaiah had a really bad review
about.
about it, but Isaiah is also like, I don't know, 12.
Yeah. I expected him to like it.
Well, he said it was mostly a musical and he wasn't entertained by that. And I was like, well, the first one was pretty much a musical too. Like, it's Willy Wonka.
Right.
Like, pure imagination. Like, Oompa Loompa. Like, the whole movie's a fucking musical. Like,
yeah, exactly.
what did you expect?
Right.
The fucking queer singing.
The first one is amazing.
Yeah. It still holds up.
It does.
My 7-year-old, I showed it to her like a month or two ago. Like when that trailer came out for like the newer one. Yeah. She was kind of interested. I was like, well, there's the original one. We'll watch it. And it's on 4K and on Max.
Right.
And it looks great. And it still holds up. And she was mesmerized by it. She got it. She loved it.
Yep. It's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if you've seen that meme that says, what is the guy's? I can't think of it. Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
You know, it says that he just had that look of madness in his eye that thought, you know, made you think he was going to let all those kids die.
Yeah.
You know, even Johnny Depp, he's crazy.
I always say that
crazy, but he didn't have that.
I say that Gene Wilder has Siberian husky eyes.
Yeah.
Where it's like that part where it's like my sister always grew up and like she had a couple of huskies and huskies were like these wolves, like, you know, they're partial, like, you know, like wolves and stuff like that. Right. They're just like that unpredictability glare and that little tint in their eye where you don't know what they're going to do. Like at a certain point, they're just wild. Like there's just that chance where they could just
go back to feral.
Yeah. And like she had some huskies like that, and they were just a chance like they were just ornery. Like they could be polite, they would do stuff, and then all of a sudden they just wild hair, they just go nuts.
Yep.
And I'm like, I kind of see that with Gene Wilder. He has those fucking Siberian husky eyes.
I could see that.
Yeah. Those fucking like staring with like those blue eyes are just like kind of, I don't know, just a little bit fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also had the look of, you know, he could possibly be hiding some bodies somewhere.
Yeah. And I also want to know like how much weed they were smoking offset, like off camera.
Yeah. For real.
Like those kids had to have been getting contact highs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those Oompa Loompas were like 43.
Yeah. And they probably had some fire shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to be on that orange paint all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just recently learned, are you a That 70 Shows fan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just recently learned that they, you know, so I've always been impressed with how they did the circle. You know, like you knew what they were doing, but you never seen what they were doing.
Yeah.
But I read something that they actually let Hyde and Donna smoke cigarettes. They were both cigarette smokers, so they would let them smoke cigarettes while they were doing that to give the smoke effect. But they would never show them smoking the cigarette.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Too bad Hyde's a piece of shit.
Agreed. Yeah.
Dude, the fucking testimonies that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis did about like how he's such a great guy and stuff, and then it all came out and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
No. Turns into that Bass Rootin' video. Like,
Don't you ever do this.
I didn't keep up with any of that. I don't ever keep up with celebrity court hearings and shit. You know, I didn't keep up with the Johnny Depp stuff or nothing.
Have you seen the Vince McMahon shit that happened?
I seen part of it. Yeah, I seen something posted last night.
Yeah, it's blowing up now.
Yeah.
Alleging of trafficking this like executive woman there between him, his talent relations guy John Laurinaitis, and Brock Lesnar, just throwing this woman around.
I believe it.
And the text messages, bro, are fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
This was in 2019. This wasn't like prime Vince. This was
right
2019. He's 70.
Right.
And he's talking about, I want to see you take on 3 black dicks. And he's like going hardcore on it. Like, whoa, Vince. Whoa.
Wow. But, you know, just think about the shit that guy's seen, you know, like,
and he also allegedly shit on her chest.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why are people into that?
I don't know.
Are you into shit?
No.
I'm not either. It's disgusting.
No. Not even the gay side of me is into shit. No.
I don't understand that as a fetish.
Me either.
But I don't know. I've always kind of felt like anything, like I'm a very paranoid person, and I've always felt like everything like that involves traveling like that.
Yeah.
There's a side of trafficking too.
Yeah.
You know, wrestling, the music industry, any of it, like the circus.
Anything that originates with carnies.
Exactly.
I mean, wrestling was from the carnivals. It was carnies.
Yeah, right.
And
like strongman stuff. I like strongman stuff, and it started there.
Well, I mean, that's where like the terms came from, like heel, face, kayfabe. Those are all carny slang.
Okay.
All the wrestling terms. That's all. It started from carnivals.
Okay.
And that's
so I know a heel is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Why are they referred to as a heel?
I'm not typically known on that part of it. I just know it's called as a heel, and then face is baby face.
Yeah. Okay.
For a good guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be the good guy. And then tweener or tween is in between.
Okay. I recently learned all this stuff because I listened to The Rock on Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
and
that was a great podcast episode.
It was a good episode. And
the Ric Flair one, not so much.
Yeah, it was all right. I listened to that one too.
Ric Flair on Kill Tony. Oh,
I haven't heard that one.
Oh,
I haven't listened to Kill Tony at all.
Ric Flair went on Kill Tony because like Joe Rogan's friends with fucking Tony Hinchcliffe. Mm-hmm. So basically, how it works is a trickle down of like if you're on Joe Rogan, odds are he's probably going to show up on Kill Tony later that night because they film on the same day.
Right, that makes sense.
So it's like a friend thing. Like if you're in the area, do Kill Tony that night. Joe kind of hints them to go there. Right. So Rick, after doing like a 4-hour podcast and being drunk and high, goes and does Kill Tony with the Legions of Skank guys, Ari Shaffir, and Mark Normand.
Oh wow!
It's a bunch of fire guys.
Yeah,
and they're all friends with Joe Rogan too.
Right.
It's one of the most heavily edited episodes of Kill Tony. Like apparently a whole hour was taken out because Rick's drunk and into it. Like, you know, Kill Tony. Like even if you do good, they're roasting you, they're making fun of you, they're heckling and stuff like that. Right. You know, the whole point is the dais, people on stage are making fun of that person doing that 1 minute.
Right.
And it's a comedy show. And several times through the thing, Rick's like, you know, I just have all the respect for people that go up here, and you know, even if they're terrible, I'm never going to make fun of somebody if they have the guts to come up here. That you know, they're good in my book. And he's doing that kind of somber shit,
right,
on a comedy show,
right? It's like, no, dude, talk some shit.
And then he starts talking about missing his dead son Reed, who died by suicide, an overdose, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I heard that on the Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and he's getting on about that stuff, and you can tell that there's this split on the comedians because like there's like Mark Normand and Ari Shaffir and all the ones that are really friends with Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. They don't want to make fun of the obvious elephant in the room of Ric Flair being fucking what the fuck is he doing because they don't want to like burn a bridge with Rogan.
Right.
But then there's the Legion of Skate guys like what's his name? Louis J. Gomez and Zach Amico. Mm-hmm. They don't give a fuck. They're behind there and they're roasting Ric Flair, making fun of it, and they're still making it funny. And then you can see like Red Band and Hitchcliff and them like trying to be like dude,
right, trying not to break.
Yeah, like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's Ric Flair.
Right.
Like, Tony Hinchcliffe's face the entire show is basically like, everything's burning. It's like he's trying to keep it together and do a comedy show, but also not burn a bridge with Ric fucking Flair.
Right.
But Ric Flair's making an ass of himself.
And isn't he the one that's the huge wrestling fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like having your idol on your show and it's imploding in front of you in live audience.
Wow. Wow.
I recommend you watch it
I'm
because
gonna have
like
to watch that.
there's even a Reddit thread of everything they cut out, and it's like how depressing Rec made it, and it's like they had to heavily edit it.
Right. So Joe got him good drunk, and they got him like the late drunk.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
Yeah,
That's
and he was just depressing, reflective Rick Flair
right.
talking
Wow.
about his dead son
That's horrible.
at a comedy show.
That story was horrible, but that's not something you tell on Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, it's not called Kill Reed. It's called Kill Tony.
Right.
Reed died years ago.
Yeah.
It's funny because I don't know him. Woo!
And he was a rich kid.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Hogan kid. The guy, Nick Hogan killed a guy in a car wreck.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was speeding in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something like that in Tampa with a guy, his buddy. They were joyriding. And
yeah, what's his name? Paul Walker?
Too fast, too crispy. His career's on fire. And then it was like, oh shit, Paul Walker's dead. What do we do? And I made a meme and it was just like, Vin Diesel in The Pacifier 2. Gotta land on. No, he just made fun of The Rock.
Yeah.
That was my favorite celebrity beef was Vin Diesel versus The Rock, even though they're in the same fucking movies.
Right.
It like The Rock's basically being like, you're a bitch.
Yeah. And in real life, like The Rock could crush him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vin Diesel's small.
Yeah.
And then once I saw him like being like Vin Diesel was a theater major and like was started on like Broadway and like ballet.
Really?
And like there's videos of him like with full like hair, like he has like a buzz cut and he's like in ballet tights and he's doing like the pirouettes and stuff. And like that's like one of his first gigs. And he was a theater like snob, like a really skinny guy. He didn't buff up till after Fast 1. Like
when he could afford the steroids.
Well, do you remember Fast 1? He's not that big. He's toned.
Right.
But most of it's just him and a wife beater. It's not really like he's ripped.
Right. He's just cut and looks good on camera.
Yeah, but after that it became like, oh, I have to buff up. It's my brand.
Right.
And like even the first Riddick, I don't know if you watched like that was called Pitch Black.
Yeah, I remember them, but I don't think I watched them.
Like his first debut movie was called Pitch Black, and it's an indie movie. It's mostly all shot in dark. Yeah. It's like on a planet where there's no there's darkness.
Right.
It's a really cool movie, but like even that, he's basically just in a wife beater that's shot in all black. He's not that ripped. He's just sweaty.
Really? Yeah.
And it's just like somehow in pop culture, people are like, oh, he's the peak physical male. Like,
right.
Where did the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, when did that happen?
Somewhere where he started like beating people with wrenches, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
He lived his life
weird.
Quarter-mile at a time.
That's why they had to do the random, Too Fast, Too Furious. Give him that time to buff up.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like that one.
I did too.
Paul Walker.
Yeah.
The ejecto seats.
Yeah. I mean, I was a fan of the series until they got to where are we at now? Like,
you kind of look like that guy that they won who won one of the cars from, like one of the muscle cars.
Yeah.
You look like one of the muscle car guys that they won in the drag
when they were racing for the drug dealer or whatever, the kingpin.
Remember the two guys that had the muscle cars and they had to like race them for slips? They had to do the back and forth.
Yeah.
You look like the second guy that had the orange car. The glasses make it, man. The glasses make it.
I'm gonna pomade my hair back.
Yeah. You gotta walk home after you lose your car. They still got the chicks. Damn. Yeah, Tokyo Drift was number 3 technically.
Yeah.
And then they did the weird like time jump thing because they realized they had a franchise.
Right. How did that happen?
1 hour later.
They made 3, and then the because the 3 was a spin-off movie and it had a whole new director and everything. And then they liked the director and they liked everything they did, and they're like, we'll just let him make more.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back and they brought the regular cast back for 4. And then
he was like the worst one though.
Yeah.
2 hours later.
5 was my favorite. I like Fast 5. That was the one that introduced The Rock, where they're in Brazil.
Yeah.
And it has the 2 safes and the Dodge Chargers.
Yeah.
I think that action sequence is fucking cool.
Yeah.
That was where it's still kind of believable a little bit.
Before they went completely over the top.
Where The Rock's like guiding missiles or fucking torpedoes in the ice.
Right.
Or the fucking airplane is taking off for 20 miles.
I'm still trying to think of which one we quit watching. I know we got to at least when they introduced Jason Statham. My wife's for some reason always kind of had a crush on Jason Statham.
Yeah.
And
then they retcon and say that he was the one that killed Han in 3.
Really?
Yeah, that's when they bring him back. Yeah.
Okay.
3 hours later.
Yeah, so that would have been like Fast 6 or 7 because he was the villain like a 7.
Yeah. And I at least made it to that one, but
yeah.
I haven't seen.
Fast 10 sucks. I got like 20 minutes into it. I was like, this is a piece of shit.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
And it's because even though it was free on Peacock, and I was still like, this is a piece of shit.
Is that the one they pulled Vin Diesel out of, or no?
No, this is the one that has Jason Momoa in it, and it's supposed to be like the launch of the next 3. Like they're doing like a 3-part like finale to the series, and this is like the first one. Yeah, they're finally finishing it.
Movies.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then they put
that started. The original Fast and Furious came out the summer before my freshman year of high school.
Like year 2001 or 1999 or 2000. Yeah.
And like, holy shit, that has got to be the longest series ever.
Yeah. Like, dude, like even like Mia, what's her name? Gina, not Gina Rodriguez, Michelle Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Like even she kind of went through a transformation. She was not buff at all. She was pretty feminine in the first movie.
Yeah, she was.
And then like she went off into those Resident Evil movies, came back, and she's like, okay, we need her to be like the buff counterpart to Dom.
Yeah.
So she's just ripped girl.
Yeah.
And she's just muscle girl, action girl now.
They were probably CrossFitters.
Like we had to have somebody that could theoretically fight Ronda Rousey.
Many unbearable hours later.
Right.
Like really? Michelle Rodriguez is gonna beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey?
Right.
Apparently it worked. I mean, but every movie now is like she has to have some kind of awesome woman action scene.
Yeah.
And then she's out of the script for a while.
Yeah.
That's basically just how they do it. It's really weird. It's really shitty movie making. Yeah, Fast 10 was horrible. We're going on a tangent. I don't even know what we're talking about now. And now time for a special segment I like to call the chopping block. This is where I take an item of the week and we really just say it needs to fucking go. This week, it's Burger King. Yeah, the BK Lounge. I fucking hate you. Burger King, originally the place of the Whopper, now it just employs people that are really into poppers. That popped you. I took my kid to the local BK and I shit you not, we went in there and it just smelled like piss. And she was like, oh, I want to go see the ball pit. Yeah, I know we're both vaccinated, but if she jumps in there, she's definitely getting hepatitis. I shit you not. Behind the ball pit, they were hiding boxes of old product.
Wow.
Just hiding back there as, accoutrement and decoration.
They were prizes if you made it through the ball pit.
Burger King's one step away from offering pre-cut food so that you can get it on food stamps. Okay? That's the level we're at BK now. Like, I don't know, man. Despite all that, I'm still going to go back. You guys are the only fucking fast food chain that has onion rings. And they're halfway presentable.
Yep.
Well, Sonic, you get a pass. They're okay. Step up your game, Burger King. Everybody else, get some fucking onion rings so we put these fuckers out of business. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Yeah. BK Lounge, you're cut. Well, Scotty Lee, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fun chat. We're going to do this again so I can get on your camera. Where can everybody follow the great Scotty Lee?
You can find me at Once a Fudge Round on Instagram, or you can find me at Scotty Woodard on Facebook.
Thanks, man. Dude, I look forward. Thank you again for coming in all the way from Muskogee, man.
Hey, no problem. You popped my podcast cherry today.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
It wasn't as painful as I expected.
Flex that. And thank you for bringing these awesome shades for our Valentine's Day episode. Oh, shit. Now it's really bright, isn't it?
I'm scared to take mine off.
That's what I said about condoms. Still wearing one to this day.
Nice.
Always stay protected.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I don't do condoms. I'm claustrophobic. My dick's claustrophobic. I told you that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine's not claustrophobic. I've always just said I was allergic.
My dick's just like fucking Chick-fil-A, man. It's always about my pleasure. And on that note, guys, this has been Unloading Meat. He's Scotty Lee. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. Peace.
Bye, have a great time.